So today we are talking about getting to know HealthTree Connect and the future of HealthTree products. Connect is specifically a program that I'm really excited. Product, I'm not sure what to call it. I'm sure Todd and Tanner can help me with defining what we're going to call that. But Connect is a social networking platform that we're going to be able to use to connect with one another. So you don't need to have a Facebook account or even like Facebook in order to connect with us on Connect. The reason why we kind of allude to Facebook when describing Connect is because we want to create a space where people can create relationships with one another outside of these monthly meetings that we have within the community chapters. We want a place where people can share pictures of their pet or share good news about their MRD results, or maybe share bad news about unfortunate unwanted relapse and find support from people in their community who are going through the same thing. We wanted a myeloma social networking site where you can create these great relationships, share recipes with one another, get creative in what you're doing, and get myeloma news along the way. So we're really excited to demo that to you. And then, as I said, Todd and Tanner are excited to show you the new and improved products that they and the development team have been working really hard on making more accessible and prettier for you. So with that being said, I'll introduce our speakers. Todd Foster is the head of product at HealthTree. He is a healthcare executive who specializes in patient experience and clinical process improvements. Todd was the director of patient and provider experience at MD Anderson for over a decade. Prior experience includes leadership of IT development projects at Intermountain Healthcare and United Healthcare. Todd has a passion for using technology that can help patients have a better life and along the way further research for a cure. Tanner has grown up both in the western part of the United States and the East Coast and has seen how technology can bring people together. He believes that in doing so, we can collaborate with others and advance our health and lifestyle. In his free time, he loves to run, bike, hike, and play with his dog, Calvin. And he really does. Calvin's pretty much the love of his life. So with that being said, Todd and Tanner, I'll turn the time over to you to start your demonstrations. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Audrey. We're excited to show you guys what we've been working on. So first, let me see. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so first, before I get into Connect, I kind of want to go over a quick overview of how we come up with our ideas and kind of what the process is as a product team and the development team to figure out how we can further enhance our products or come up with new ideas. So first, we have a problem that's brought to us, or we see a problem that needs to be addressed. And so we'll generate a lot of our ideas. We will come up with a whole list of things and try to pick out the one that stands out. Maybe it's a combination of all of our ideas or many of our ideas. And then we further work to define what those products are and what they look like. Then we will, with those requirements, we'll go to our designer, and he will help us prototype kind of a rough outline or the flow of what our products, how it should flow from one screen to the next. We'll further refine that prototype and build out a design. And the design often looks very similar to what the product will look like, but it doesn't actually have any data connected to it. It's all just kind of it's just a playground for us to see what's working, what's not working, what needs to change. So with that design, we bring it to the validation or the test stage. And I'm sure some of you in this meeting have been part of our test group. And this is super, super helpful for us because we're able to get a lot of feedback to see what makes sense to you. Because a lot of times things make sense to us, but it's nice to get it in the hands before we actually develop it to our users so that we can change it before we spend the time and the resources actually coding and developing the products. So with that validation test, we kind of go in this loop. We go back to our prototype and maybe redesign some of it, and then we retest it. until we can get it to as close to a working product as we can, and then we send it off to the developers. So a lot of what Todd and I do is to try to prioritize what the developers are going to be working on, and figure out what is essential and needs to be fixed as soon as possible, or what ideas we need to get out there as quick as possible. So that's kind of where the create the product is. And in a sense, this is kind of a loop, because we're hoping to constantly refine what we've been working on. So part of this, what we've been working on is related to Connect, as Audrey was explaining, and we're really excited to show you that. The idea kind of generated from what we currently have. So here we have, this is currently the forms, and the forms has been great in the past, but we want to encourage people to revisit this and be able to communicate more openly, and be able to have a platform to, as Audrey mentioned, to be able to communicate with people and share their news, or to share pictures, but also to ask their questions, so that people can kind of outsource or get other people's opinions, or of, whether it's treatments, or whether it's visiting, what doctor do you see? Have you enjoyed working with them? Just to create a platform for people to be able to communicate in the way that they want. So currently this is the forms, and what we're hoping to accomplish with Connect is that you can be able to find the content you need based off of topics and based off of groups. So here is, let's see, this is Connect. Right now I'm just signed in as my account. I just want to give you a brief demo of it and show you how you can access it. So to start off, when you first come to Connect, you'll see a landing page.
Tanner, sorry to interrupt you. Can you zoom in just a little bit
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. So when you first come to Connect, you'll be asked to go through a brief onboarding. This will just ask for some basic information. You can choose your username, which you're able to change later if you want to change it. So for example, we have Coach Jeff, that's his username. You can change it to whatever you want to be more anonymous. You can also upload a picture if you want. Some people want to be more anonymous, so we have that option available. And then you can go through and you can choose the groups you want to join during the onboarding. And of course, you can join groups after the fact as well. So when you first get to the site, you'll notice right here, there is this side navigation. Home is going to show all the posts from all the groups that you're part of. So I'm part of these 4 groups right here: Florida, Northeast, SoCal, and Southeast myeloma groups. And so it will show all of those posts from all of those groups. The general discussion is a group that everyone is automatically a member of when they join Connect. So this will show, this is just a general board for people to post, and you're not able to leave this group, whereas the other ones you can easily leave, which I'll show in just a sec. So right here, home will show the general discussion and all of your groups all together. You can filter based off of images if people have posted images, as well as videos. We do have some people, we've opened it up. We're kind of in a beta testing stage. So we're testing out, seeing what bugs there are, trying to get people to start interacting. And so we're slowly opening it up to other groups, and we're about to open it up to a few more groups as well. So right here, we have the Find Groups tab. Here you can see the groups you've joined, as well as suggested groups. For example, if I want to join the Mountain West group, I can go in here. I can read more information about it. It looks like there's 9 people in it. I can go ahead and join the group. Once I join the group, I can see, you can see the people's posts in here, and you can also now post in this group. Right here in the About section, we have, it says this group is associated with a chapter that meets monthly. So some of our groups will be tied to our existing chapters. So for example, we have a Mountain West chapter, and this will be tied to a group. And so what that does is it makes it so we'll display the events here. So you can easily click here and it will take you the chapter. And when you join one of these groups, you're automatically joined into the chapter, and vice versa. Once you join the chapter, and then you sign up for Connect, you'll automatically be part of that group. So if you click here, it'll take you back into Connect. You can leave the group if you want. And then also you can click here and see the members in the group. If I want to, let's see, if I want, I can click on this on the user, and you can see their posts that they've made. And you can also go in and you can click here and start a chat with them. And so that's within a group. And then let's see, within here, we can also post. If I'm within a group, you'll notice I'm in this Mountain West group right here. If I click on here, there's this drop down, and you can see all the groups that you're part of, and you can select the group that you want to post in. Since I'm already in the Mountain West group, it will default to that group. So right now, the two groups that that this has been open to is the Northeast Myeloma group and the coach group. Some of our groups right now, we only have the coach group. You'll notice this little lock icon. When I click it, it'll say you'll be notified if your request is approved. So now it says it's pending. And so when the admin of this group, this is a group that's private just for our HealthTree coaches, so that they can communicate and ask questions if they need, and communicate for based off their own needs. So if the admin goes and approves, I'm going to go and approve this request to join the group. And so now I'm part of it. Let's see right here, Myeloma coaches. And you'll also get a little bell icon right here that says your request to join the Myeloma coaches group has been approved. So we do have notifications in here. So for example, if someone comments on a post or replies, or likes or reacts to one of my posts, they can you'll get a notification for that. So now I'm part of this private group. So if you're a coach, you're welcome to join that. We might have a few other private groups that we release in the future, but just wanted to show you that. Let's see, what else do I want to show you? So I'm going to go ahead and post just to show you how that works. So in the Northeast Myeloma group, this one has been one that we've had for a month or two, and I'm going to go in here. I'm going to post in here. So you'll notice it says Northeast Myeloma. I've got this, I want to post. If you want, you can add a picture, add a video, and I'm going to go ahead and post. Within here, you can see people have been reacting to posts. You can go in, add an emoji or something. You can also go in and you can comment. You can reply to comments. Anyway, so there's that is how you post. And yeah, we're excited to get more people on there. I mentioned that we're going to be rolling out to other users. We're going to open it up to in the near future, possibly, I believe today, the Southeast Myeloma group, the SoCal, the Mountain West, and the Florida. So our other regional groups. And we're doing a slow rollout to help people kind of understand, figure out some of the bugs. We do have, this isn't the end. We're not just going to leave it. We have some future ideas of what we want to do on here, such as adding a search so that you can search through all the posts. So if you want to find it based off of topic, if somebody writes something about CAR T, you can search stuff based off of CAR T. We want to implement tagging, so that like a hashtag type of thing, so we can find people's posts that way. We want to make it so you can favorite your posts and have a favorites page. Anyway, so we have a lot of ideas, but like I said, this is in beta, and we're excited to get more users on there and see you guys communicating with each other. Audrey, are there any questions for this?
Yeah, there's a couple questions, and I just want to thanks for demoing that. You guys work really hard, and it's really exciting to see things happen. And then this is also one of my favorite chapters, because we want your feedback, we want your suggestions, we want you to tell us what you would change and what you like and what you don't like. So feel free to let us give us that feedback.
Yeah.
A question here was about, could you also create a new group? Currently, users can't create their own groups, but again, I want your suggestions. For example, this suggestion was for a Europe group. I think that's an incredible idea and one that I hadn't even thought of with my busy mind. I think people in Europe obviously have different treatment options. They have different clinical trials. They have different insurances. And so creating something like a Europe group would be extremely beneficial. And then even if we get super populated in certain areas of Europe, we could break out into smaller groups of geographic areas in Europe. I think that's an incredible idea. I also wanted to share a couple of other groups that we plan on launching that currently aren't associated with the chapter, so that you guys can get excited with us. So we're going to be creating a group for patients that don't have a primary caregiver at home. Those people have unique needs and desire to connect with people. And so we're going to be creating a special group for them. Younger patients and caregivers with or without kids at home, but those who are diagnosed younger have a different subset of challenges and concerns. Those who opted out of a stem cell transplant sometimes like to meet together, and those who opted out of maintenance therapy or who are discontinuing their maintenance therapy. We want these groups to be specific in ways that you can connect with people who are really in the same situation as you and create powerful bonds and find answers to your questions, like Tanner was saying. So I see questions here. One question is, how do I know which group we're in? I'm in Southwest Kansas. So Tanner, if you don't mind me answering that.
Go for it.
Unfortunately, right now we don't have a regional chapter for everyone, which is kind of annoying. It's also why we have our general discussion right now, is because even if you're not in one of these groups, we want you to participate in the discussion, see the announcements, see the challenges, things like that. However, you can find what group you would be connected with through the description. So like Tanner's showing us right now, if you go to the group and you click about, I've tried to detail the specific states that are incorporated into certain regions. I will also add, we're not super strict about who joins our chapters and who doesn't. So if you want to join the regional chapter that's closest to you for the moment until I have a regional chapter in your area, perfect, please join us. So I apologize for there not being one in Southwest Kansas right now, but you're welcome to join any of the chapters. And then once we launch a geographic group in your area, you can join that. So hopefully that helps. Victoria is wondering, Tanner, does one's post go into all of the groups? I saw Coach Jeff's post was in several groups. So if you want to explain that.
Yeah, so when you post, you select the group you want to post in. So if I want to select in the general discussion, everyone will see that because everyone's part of that group. If I want to post just to the Florida myeloma group, I can select here and you can see what group it's in right here. It says myeloma coaches. This one I just posted in the Northeast myeloma. Only those that are a member of the Northeast myeloma group will see this, and they will see it on their home screen right here, and they'll see it in the Northeast. The Northeast right here, these will filter out the groups that you're seeing.
Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question, Victoria, and thank you for asking. Sally is recommending an international group, as there's lots of people from India in our groups. Maybe we start an India group as well. So love these kind of suggestions, really helpful for us and kind of out of the box when we're putting our nose to the grind. We don't really think of these kind of things. So thank you for those suggestions.
Yeah, and we can open up to, I mean, like you're saying, we can groups that aren't necessarily associated with the chapter, we can create groups based off of that. So
yep.
If you don't mind, I want to show you one other thing that related to notifications. So as I mentioned, you'll get kind of an on the website notification. If I go under my profile right here, if you go to notification settings, you can choose the notifications you'll get. So when I went to join, the coach group, I got a notification. You'll also get a text and you can get an email. So that's right here, accepted in private groups. If I don't want those, then I can turn those off to turn off getting text and email. And then once you can also receive weekly or daily daily texts or emails of a summary of how many reactions you have and how many comments you have on your post. So if you select weekly, I believe it gets sent on Friday evenings, and then daily will send every evening. You'll get a text, or you'll get an email that says how many comments or reactions you've had, or you can just turn it off if you want. But we just wanted to show you that so people are aware if they don't want to receive notifications outside of our site. Anyway, oh, and one other thing is a lot of people have been asking about an app. We are working in the beginning process of creating an app so that Connect can live within an app, and we are hoping to port over all of our programs and all of our products over to this app so that people can have access on their phones and their iPads. So yeah.
Awesome. I see different suggestions for groups, which is super exciting. Keep those coming. Like I said, it's one of my favorite parts of this chapter is hearing your feedback and suggestions. I'll be responding to people, but if we want to continue on to Todd's presentation of Cure
Yes.
Hub, thank you so much, Tanner. I appreciate it.
All right. Hi, everybody. Great to be here with you. Recognize a lot of your names. We're going to talk about Cure Hub a little bit, so this will be familiar to some of you. Just one quick thing about the Connect that Tanner showed. Thank you, Tanner, for showing that. It's exciting to launch new products, and hopefully they're helpful for people. Part of why we decided to do Connect is because there are a lot of Facebook groups, and sometimes you can post something or you read something in a Facebook group and then you come back the next day and you can never find it. And so we're trying to create something that can answer questions and that you can find. If you see something you like, you can find it again easily and quickly. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm just curious if the groups make sense to you, and if you like those or not. So I don't want to overload Audrey with a bunch of Q&A comments, but I would be interested in hearing what you think about the groups and if it made sense to you or not. One of the reasons I ask is that in the Facebook groups, probably 80% of the posts are related to side effects. And so we're just kind of thinking about side effects, and do we put a side effect group? We don't want to create a group for every side effect, because then there'd be like 110 different groups. Maybe that's not a problem. So just curious if any of you have thoughts around that. I am going to share my screen now and take you into Cure Hub. Okay, hopefully you should be seeing that. Hopefully it's big enough. Let me get all these things out of the way so that I can click around. So this is your Cure Hub dashboard, and I'll just quickly take you through what Cure Hub is. The Track My Myeloma, this is the part that we talk about sharing your story. This is your story, the Track My Myeloma section. So in here you have your diagnosis, when you were diagnosed, what it was, the myeloma type, the stage. You have risk factors related from diagnosis. So these 3 blood tests indicate your risk factor at diagnosis, what these numbers were before you started any treatment. And then if you've had genetic testing, we show you which genetic risks, what the risk level is of your genetics. So that's the beginning of your story. We also allow you can put in your care team. If you have a family caregiver or someone that's helping you, you can put them in here as well. We don't spam them or anything, so we just leave them alone. This is just for you. And if you have a coach, which we'll be reviewing later, you can put your coach in here. We do ask some health and fitness questions. These are very specific questions, so a lot of people get frustrated because we say, do you have a heart condition, yes or no? And people want to tell us more, maybe, more details about the heart condition or the lung condition or their bone condition. This section is very specific. And the reason is because this logic, how you answer this feeds into our logic that determines which treatment options you're eligible to receive. So it's a very specific area. We have another area over here called the full health profile. And this is where you can give us all the detail if you want to about all sorts of things. We ask about your demographics, yourself and your myeloma, your family's history, your lifestyle, all different. There's about 200 questions in there, and that's where you can give us the detail. So health and fitness, don't get frustrated if it's limited in what you can explain to us. Treatment history, this is where you come in and tell us what treatments you've had. You report the side effects that you've experienced and what the outcome is. If it, what type of response you had to that treatment. And you can list all your treatments here in this account. You can see what treatments a patient has potentially had here. We just listed different ones so that you can see what it looks like. We are upgrading our system, our CareHub system, hopefully next week. And we are creating, right now you have to manually enter all your treatments. And we're creating a way where you can connect HealthTree to your facilities medical information. And you have complete control of that, but it will automatically download everything from your MyChart or whatever portal you have access to through your facility into CareHub. So all your treatments will come in, all your labs will come in automatically, no more manually entering all of that information, which it is a time-consuming thing to enter that information. I think in this, we have a lot of labs in here, but your labs, you can see the treatments you've had up here and see a graphic view of how your labs, what's happening with your different lab tests compared to your treatments. And down below, you can get a spreadsheet view of all your labs as well if you wanted that. Imaging, myeloma, imaging is important in myeloma, so you can get your imaging notes. You can't see the images themselves yet. We are working on that in a way that would let you see the notes and a picture of the image as well. But for right now, it's just notes. Any genetic testing that you've had can be entered here. The genetic test, the FISH test, NGS test, all those tests, they're not standard in how they report the results. So they're very hard and to read sometimes. So you could upload a copy, if you have a PDF of your test or some electronic version, you could upload it, click here and upload a copy of your test. We have a medical team and they will get that and enter your genetic testing information for you since it is so hard to read. We've talked about the full health profile. There's a summary of your entire story in here. So Track My Myeloma, again, this is what we refer to as your story, and you can tell us about your story. By doing that, we're able to give you some things back for telling us about your story. So for one, you can see treatment options. We get rid and remove all the treatments that you cannot have based on your story that you've told us. And we only show you the treatments you can have. So in this example, there's a lot of 2-drug combos, 3, 4-drug combos that this patient could have, stem cell transplant. We have this expert preferred area. And here we've had about 25 myeloma experts come in and tell us, how would you treat a patient in this scenario? We gave them about 55 different scenarios, and they went through it and told us what would be their first pick, second pick, third pick. So you can see these expert preferred treatments. The number of leaves indicates, that this is a first pick of a lot of the specialists, of the 25 specialists that we talked to. You can come into the treatment details and we'll give you more information about that drug. There are some videos where people are explaining different things about the drug and research on that drug or that combination of drugs. So a lot of information trying to help you understand what your options are. so that you can be a decision maker with your care team. You can be a part of the decision when deciding what treatment is best for you. We have a patient solutions tool here. I don't know if many of you may have seen this. It's a side effect tool. Looking for a better name for it because we call it 100 different things, so we need a name. But maybe let's say your doctor is thinking of putting you on a new combination of treatments. We'll just pick some things here. I don't know. Prednisone. So that, maybe your doctor's thinking about this combination for you, a new treatment or starting on this treatment. You can put that in and come and see what side effects patients are reporting related to that treatment. So the number one side effect is fatigue on this particular combination. 56% of the patients in our system said they experienced fatigue, average severity level at a 4. So that's 1 through 10. So it's about in the middle. And you can click on View Solutions if you want to see what patients are doing to try to help relieve the side effect, in this example, of fatigue. We have 29 solutions that patients have provided. And you can see, rest when needed obviously makes sense if you're tired and fatigued. And 91 patients said that was successful, 9% notice no difference. Start exercise, maintain regular sleep schedule, take your medications at bedtime, stay hydrated, eat fruits, adjust expectations, lots of different things that people are doing, and you can see the data behind it and if these things that they're doing are working or not. If there's something you've tried here that isn't listed, you've tried but it isn't listed here, you can click on Add New Solution Not Listed Below and put in your solution of what you've tried. We do ask if you know which drug caused that solution, and if you do, you can tell us. If you don't know, you can just say no and then click next and let us know if it worked or not and submit that. We will get that and review it and add it to the list if it's not already there. And so that is the side effect solutions tool. It can be very helpful in a lot of different situations. We actually have people that don't have cancer that come here that are having side effects for diabetes or any other type of thing like neuropathy, and they come here to see what people are doing for neuropathy. Lots of options that patients have submitted for neuropathy, and again, you can see all the data behind that. Let's quickly go into I'm going to skip HealthTree University. We'll get to that. Well, HealthTree, just real quick, I guess HealthTree University is lots of lessons to learn about everything myeloma related. So myeloma basics 1 and 2, 3. If you click there, you can see there's lots of classes within or lots of lessons within that class. And these are all videos taught by myeloma specialists. Most of the videos, we try to keep them less than 5 minutes, so you can quickly, watch something, learn from it. This is probably one of our most popular features of everything that we offer in HealthTree. I think we have over 100 specialists in here and something like 60 classes, and with all the lessons in the classes, I think we're over 1,000 or getting close to 1,000 classes. So a lot of information in here. Again, a lot of, especially newly diagnosed patients, come here and binge through this and learn everything they can learn about myeloma. So that's HealthTree University. The Twin Machine, a lot of people, we hear from a lot of patients that, when they're diagnosed, they want to find somebody 5 years ahead of them that's just like them and see what they did. So in here, you can put in some filters of what you're searching for, diagnosis, type, all sorts of filters that you want to look at. You can see the filters that we've got in here. So right now there's a filter based on treatments. I want to find people that have had these treatments. You can see this one is a female patient diagnosed 12 years ago. And if you click on that patient, you get a view of the treatments they've had, what's gone on with those treatments. So this patient has decreased, some of the treatments from the initial dose, probably due to side effects. You can see the side effects that they experienced here and what the outcome was, if it worked or not. You can also get a view of their genetics. So again, a tool to help you research different options that might be available to you and to help you make your treatment decisions that you might be faced with your care team. So that's the Twin Machine. The community forums, that is going to be replaced by Connect, which we've showed you. And then there's some myeloma help for things about financial help, finding a myeloma expert. HealthTree University's here, the coach program. And then real quick, this is the last thing I'm going to show you on CureHub. It's accelerating research, and this is surveys and studies. Again, this is a very popular area of the people that we have. They love helping to contribute to research. So we have a lot of people reach out to us and say, hey, I'm curious about something. I'm trying to prove the concept. Could we submit a survey to your patients and see what the answers we get back are? So just to understand, generally, if a physician or a researcher wanted to do this on their own, like for example, we did a study on vaccinations after stem cell transplant, patients who did get vaccinations, patients who didn't, and how long they stayed in remission, what all different things related to that. And he had been working on getting those answers for a couple years and had about, I don't know, somewhere around 20 people was all he had so far that had answered his questionnaire in 2 years. He reached out to us. We put the questionnaire in here, and within a month, we had over 600 patients that had answered his questionnaire. And he actually took that information and was able to publish on that and, speed up the process of research. So one of our goals is to speed up research and get drugs to markets faster. The drugs that are coming to market now started about 17 years ago. That's a long time to wait for a drug to get through its whole process. So this is one of the areas where we hope to be able to speed up research and get life-saving drugs to market sooner. That is a real quick overview of CureHub. Again, I think a lot of you might be familiar with it, not sure. Any questions that anybody has around CureHub that you'd like to ask?
So there were a couple questions that I'll answer for people that might not be able to read it or who are watching the recording. So Lewis is wondering, once we sign up, can we upload previous test results for historical purposes? This was my answer, but Todd, feel free to add anything. I said, yes, you can even have the patient experience team upload those previous records for you with your consent. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, you can put anything in here. So on average, a cancer patient see about 3 different doctors. They're going to 3 different doctors. So that data lives in 3 different systems. That's one of the advantages of CureHub, is you can bring all your data into one place. So you can put all your past data and current data in there from different facilities you go to. Again, I briefly spoke about we're releasing a new version of CureHub next week. And you can electronically connect your medical information to CureHub. So all of your past labs would automatically come in, your past treatments. And if you were to go get new lab tests done next week, once those lab results show up in your portal, they will show up in HealthTree CureHub as well. No more manual entry. So, but yeah, great answer, Audrey.
Thank you. Another question that Patty had was, can you read other people's CureHub and their experience? So I said there's one section called the Twin Machine in which you can anonymously see, or I should have said you can see people's anonymous treatments, responses, and limited information about those who are similar to you. Other than that, the information you upload is private. Do you mind showing the Twin Machine one more time, Todd, and then kind of explaining what is private and what isn't when it comes to that?
Right. So we'll never show any personal information, name, address, phone number, email address, facilities that you go to, nothing like that that a patient could use to try to track you down. So there's just random ID numbers that we use for to identify the different twins that you can come up with. We do show the gender, if they're living or not, and how long they've been diagnosed with myeloma, and age. So that sort of information is there. Again, in here you do see the treatments that the patient has had and the side effects and outcomes. And if they've had genetic testing, you'll see that. But not much else other than that. You can message your twin if you want. When we release our update next week, this will be much improved. There's a few problems with the messaging your twin right now, but with the update, you would be able to just click and message this twin. And if you wanted, and begin conversations, asking them about their treatments, things like that. Again, the messaging will be confidential. There will be no personal information shown. We won't show if you have a profile picture, like you can see there's a profile picture here in the top left side. We'll just show this type of icon in the twin machine and a username, not a real name or not a real picture, just to protect identity. So hopefully that answers the question. Were there any other questions?
For now, no. So
Okay.
we can continue on to the coach demonstration. Thanks, Todd.
No problem. So yeah, I'm going to stop sharing and I will turn it over to Tanner, who will now talk a little bit about the coach program.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. So yeah, as Todd mentioned, we're really excited about the new Cure Hub platform. And this may not pertain to everyone, but you may notice that like a lot of our programs the platforms have been getting kind of a revamp. And part in doing this is so that we can expand to other diseases. We've been focused on myeloma, and we're going to continue focusing on myeloma. But we do want to be able to expand for other diseases. So you may have noticed AML. You can access, some of our programs are already over on AML, as well as CLL. We're looking at different diseases and how we can help the most people with the programs that we have. And so with these new systems, this allows us to do it. So we're excited for Cure Hub and for the new version as well. Okay, so I want to go over Coach now. I'll try to go over it briefly. So first I want to show, let's see, might have lost my screen real quick. Let me just pull up my screen. Really quick, I lost my, it logged me out. Okay, so while this loads right here, I wanted to go over, there's two sides of this. There's the coach side and there's the coachee side. The coachees, those are the people that are looking for coaches. And let's see, I think I can pull it up. Here we go. Log in as user. Okay, so here's just a test account. These are just all test accounts that I have. So they're not actual coaches or actual data. It's just kind of pretend data. So right here, I'm signed in as a coach. This coach is named Judy Johnson. And when they log in, a coach are for those, I guess, let me go over the program of what Coach is. For those that aren't familiar with it, Coach is a platform where we have volunteers, people that we have over 100 volunteers, people that have gone, that are either caregivers or patients that volunteer to coach or mentor those that have questions about their myeloma, that have gone through it themselves. So we kind of have two sides of this. We have the coach portal and we have the coachee portal. And let's see if this one works now. There we go. Okay, so first I want to show the coachee portal, or the coachee portal. So when someone logs in, they will be brought to their dashboard, and we now have new features on this. This is a new platform. We just released this last week. We're still kind of in a beta phase, so we're fixing some things on it. But one of the new features that we have is called Find Me a Coach. What this does is you can go in, you can select what you need help in. So if I'm looking for somebody that might have experience with stem cell transplant or maybe health insurance, financial resources, I can go in, I can select some more, maybe some more refined search. And then what we can do with this information is that we can automatically match you with a coach. So right here, you can see I have a coach. There's a coach that's going to hopefully accept my request in the next day or two. Here's some requests that I already have. And so this is one new feature that we have for our coachees. Coachees can still do as what we previously had. They can go in and they can browse on their own and look through all of our coaches. So I know some of the coaches are on this call, but you can go in, you can look at their profile, you can read about them, you can see their areas of expertise, you can see their contact methods, whether they're a patient, a caregiver, what their diagnosis is, and then you can hit request as coach. This will send our coaches a notification saying, hey, this patient, Ben, he wants some coaching. Are you able to coach him? And they can go in, they can accept or deny that request. And I'll show that in just a sec on the coach side. So coaches, they can go in here, they can see their pending requests. They can see the ones that they're active coaches that they have. We also have a bunch of resources for them. For our coachees, they can go in, they can edit their profile. If Rosalind Height, she's in charge of the coach program. She's the program director. She may have announcements in here that we can see. And so that's the coach side. And then the other side is that was the coachee side. This is the coach side. So for a coach, like I said, I think we have about 150 coaches. Right here, I am logged in as a coach. This coach is named Judy Johnson. This is my dashboard right here. I have one new request. I have one active coachee. I can see my hours I've coached, any meetings I've scheduled, and then announcements from Roz. So for example, if I see I have a new request here, I have this request from Ben. So this is this coachee. If I want to go in here, I can go in, I can accept it, I can send them a message, looking forward to meeting you. I can send this message. And now this person is one of my active coachees. And here you'll see this coach right here. I have this account listed as inactive just so, because it's a test account. But I can go and reactivate it if I want under my profile. But I'll show that in just a sec. So coaches, one of our new features is that they can schedule, that they can put meetings in to keep track of all the meetings that they have scheduled, as well as track their hours and put in their notes based off of, so that they can keep track of the time that they're putting in with their coachees. So for example, if I want to say intro meeting, I can go in here, I can select a coach. So I had a meeting with Ben. I had it just yesterday at 1 p.m. and it lasted an hour. I can go in and I can put in notes. Let's see. Went over needs and shared resources. This is just for the coaches to be able to keep track of what they've talked about. So here you can see now I have these hours scheduled, or I have these hours logged in here for myself to see how many hours I've coached. I can go and see my active coachees. We also have a bunch of resources. These are resources for the coaches to be able to help know how to best coach their coachees, as well as resources that they can possibly share with their coachees. We do have a new coach manual that we made. Coaches can also get in touch with other coaches if they have a question or want somebody's advice. They can get in touch and see all the other coaches. we do have a new training. So Roz has been working on a new training for our coaches. All of our coaches, before they can begin coaching, are required to complete this training so that they are ready to coach, to address the coachee's needs and know how to help others. And so we have about an hour and a half of training for them that they go through. And then, as I mentioned, here's the profile. I can reactivate this coach. So if a coach, for example, Judy right now is unable to, if she's unable to coach somebody, I can go in and, because she's busy or maybe she's relapsed, or she can go in and inactivate her profile. Now, one of the new features that we do have is there have been people, some coaches that are no longer able to coach. And in fact, they need to be coached. They want to find a mentor, or they have questions of their own. So what we've done is we've allowed within the same account, within the same profile, you can go in and you can now find a coach of your own, even as a coach, and vice versa. We have many coachees that now want to coach because they might be in a place where they feel like they want to give back. And so we're really excited about this. We released this about a week and a half ago. We're still figuring out fixing some of the bugs, but we're excited about this new feature. We've seen a couple new coachees that now want to be coaches, and vice versa. So anyway, those are just some of the brief overview of some of the new features in the new coach site. Are there any questions? I think we have a couple minutes left. Are there any other questions about any of the programs, or specifically about coach?
Doesn't look like we have any right now, but we do, as Tanner said, have a couple minutes if you guys have any. Hopefully you got a better glimpse. Thank you, Tanner, for your presentation on coach.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys got a better glimpse of what kind of goes on behind the scenes. Someday we'll invite our dev team to come talk a little bit about what they do, as well as the product team. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. And we do it all for you so that you can have tools and programs and products that make your myeloma journey easier, and so that we can get closer to a cure. That's literally why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So thank you for your participation, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for letting us show you guys what we've been working on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to stop your screen sharing if that's okay.
Yeah.
Todd, did you have any last words that you wanted to say to the group?
No, just thank everybody for being here. We love meeting with you and talking with you.
Definitely. Well, thank you to Todd and Tanner for what they do, and also the time that you took today. You guys are welcome to join us on March 22nd, as we'll have our next event in this chapter, and we'll be talking even more in depth about HealthTree University, which Todd touched on today. We're going to hear from curriculum developer Cindy, and then the video product manager Clark, as they describe what goes on behind the scenes, what's important, what goes on in these interviews, how they get them done, what are their favorite lessons, and things like that. Again, we're always looking for feedback, and we would love for you to attend next month's session to learn more about HealthTree University and give us your feedback. More upcoming events that you might be interested in. The 19th is our newly diagnosed patients chapter. That's actually today. Today at 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be talking about what's available for induction therapy, what we now know about induction therapy that's changed over the last couple of years. And Dr. Nisha Joseph from Emory is going to be talking to us about that. Then tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern is our Black Myeloma Health chapter. We're going to be hearing from Dr. Efavera about stem cell transplants. And then on the 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern is our myeloma patients with kidney involvement chapter. And we're going to be hearing from a registered dietitian from the Colorado Blood Cancer Institute about the best diet for myeloma patients with kidney involvement. So the link to sign up for any of those events and even more events I didn't mention is found at the bottom of the slide. Will be included in the follow-up email. Another thank you to our sponsors, Bristol Myers Squibb, GSK, Genentech, AbbVie, and Amgen. And thank you to each of you for giving us the feedback, for participating. I appreciate your sweet sentiments that you're sending right now. We're very grateful for all of you, and it wouldn't be possible without any of you. So thank you so much, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.